We talk all the time about how all these events coming out of the news media seem very scripted and manufactured and fake. I don't think some people get, when we say fake, how fake we mean. We're not just talking about scripted or even pre-planned manufactured events. We're talking about fake. Somebody just sent this to us on Facebook, which I guess is super appropriate, called Face to Face, Real-Time Face Capture and Reenactment of RGB Videos. You just have to see this for yourself.
We present a novel real-time facial reenactment method that works with any commodity webcam. Since our method only uses RGB data for both the source and target actor, we are able to manipulate YouTube videos in real time. Here we demonstrate our method in a live setup. On the right, a source actor is captured with a standard webcam. This input drives the animation of the face in the video shown on the monitor to the left.
Using face capture software, they're able to control basically a virtual puppet of anyone, complete with facial expressions, and make that person look like they are saying anything they want to, and it looks real.
And think about the difference here where you're seeing a U.S. leader and then in a moment when they show a foreign leader, and think about how different the implication is of showing a foreign leader who's a potential enemy looking silly versus our own U.S. leaders. And then think about how much the words and the buzz terms someone uses matter compared to body language. I mean, it's been estimated by scientists that 80-90% of what we perceive and what we think of another person, whether or not we trust them, whether or not we believe the words they're saying, depends upon body language and whether or not they seem like a trustworthy person. We've really learned to interpret what someone is saying based on the way they're expressing themselves. So look how much you can distort the message by hijacking someone's face. It's really uncanny and eerie.
And there are some people out there watching this right now going, if it was me and I saw that on TV, I would know. But here's the thing about that. This is what they're releasing to the public. This is coming out of several colleges, and they put this together and they're showing what they can do. And as we know, that means that whatever the government has, whatever the establishment has, they've had it for a lot longer. And it's probably much more advanced. Now put that together with a couple of other things like this footage. Take a look at this. What do you think's going on here? Do you think this is real or fake?
The scale of this drill gives teams an opportunity to practice skills and functions they rarely get to use.
Actually, this is a drill. This is a drill they just got done doing in the UK. It was one of the largest disaster drills, if not the largest the country has ever done. And if they played this to you on the television news and you just saw it and they said, disaster has struck in the UK, and you saw this footage, would you think it was real?
See, without a doubt, how the people are recycling back into the building. See the line of people? All right, we're coming up to the front. Look how they're coming back in. They're taking that turn, watch them take the turn, up, and they're coming right back into the building.
As we can see, before the helicopter video pans out, the people are just filing right back into the firehouse. Songs were attributed to the edited versions of the videos to clearly show how ludicrous it all is. And yes, the video is played forward and backward right before it pans out to show clearly where the people are headed. But this tape, quite clearly, is not looped. When we focus on individual people in the video, we see the same anomalous behavior.
And we've also reported on this. A story that we wrote called Project Bluebeam, Yes, the Government Research Projecting Holograms of God as a Mass PSYOP. Since the 90s at Los Alamos, they could take a 10-minute digital clip of anyone's voice. And in near real time, the patterns could be cloned to create a convincing, total and complete soundboard of that person. So it's a fake that can make a person sound like a person says anything they want. And if you heard that, you would think it was really that person really saying that. They've been able to do that since the 90s. And now they're showing us that they have this where in real time, they can make anyone look like they're saying anything. If you put those two technologies together, you can't ever trust anything's real.
We've been living in a kind of consumer information matrix for a while. They really have distorted and manipulated reality. We know that things are framed on TV, but now with this technology, there's no way to know if you're seeing something that's real at all. And I guess they're going to try to give society schizophrenia, trying to figure out when they're in the real world or not.
Seeing rage and violence directed at American embassies over an awful internet video that we had nothing to do with.
I mean, you gotta see some of the comments. In fact, this was my first comment right here. Actually, that's exactly what I said in real life when I first watched this. Look at this person. This is too far. Very scary potential for misuse. Do not pursue this for the good of humanity. Because as we know, the military-industrial complex always stops pursuing things for the good of humanity. They never do anything that isn't for the good of humanity. And then this person says, potential for misuse. I can't think of a reason you'd want this technology in the first place besides abusing it. And then some guy's like, what about lip sync for dubbed movies? Yes, because that's the reason they're doing it. Lip sync for dubbed movies. Wake up! Okay? Oh my God.
I mean, on the technical side, it's pretty interesting that it doesn't seem to matter if you're a heavy-set person and the person whose face on TV is medium build or thin or whatever, or vice versa. Seems like it works regardless, and I don't think the casual viewer has a chance in hell of knowing whether or not those are legitimate facial expressions or ones being employed by this technology.
I don't have anything else to say. That's good. I don't have anything else to say. That is crazy. It's crazy.